All right, this time I would like to introduce the Robofest staff. I am Shannon Polonis. I am the one that usually talks the most, so I'd like to introduce Dr. Chris Cartwright. He's our executive director. And I'd like to introduce Elmer Santos, our technical director. Pam Sparks, our longtime, she's been here almost 10 years now, coordinator. And our more recent coordinator, Ann. And Stephen, our web developer and database manager. Are you seeing on the Zoom, are you seeing the actual slides that says Robofest staff?
Yep, we have it.
Okay, good. That's not what I'm seeing on my screen. Okay, we also have student assistants that work for us seasonally. Sebastian and Adrian are students from Mexico, and they will be on campus starting next week. And Urjil Patel is here. He's in the back there. Thank you, Urjil. And we know that we have at least one former student assistant, Devson, in the back there. Thank you, Devson. And Nico is also a former student assistant and then former staff. So anyone else that I'm missing, former students? Daniel, Daniel's online. Thank you, CJ. Anybody else online? That's it. Okay, great. Really, it takes so many people to make this project work, and we do appreciate everybody that's worked for us and will continue to work. I'm going to turn it over now to CJ. He's going to introduce the executive council, and we have CJ is the chair and founder of Robofest. Dr. Cartwright is also executive council. Dr. John, is he here? Online, okay, thank you, BJ. And then Eric Martinson, Dr. Martinson, the chair of the Math and Computer Science Department, thank you. Do you want to tell the group what the steering committee does or no? Okay, and then another very important group is our advisory board, again, CJ, and we have several people online. And this group does our annual assessment. And yeah, make sure that we have Dr. Chung, Dr. Akenga, Emma.
Yes,
online. Philip, I think, is online. Gavin is online. Srinivas Bamdi is one of our newer additions to this group. Dave Carberry, our newest addition, he's also here. There he is. Scott Isley, is that right? Linda Pence. Josh Siegel is online. Gordon Stein is online. Morris Tedder and AJ. CJ.
yes, something not to recognize. So we would like to recognize one of our board members, Dr. Gordon Stein, who has been helping with us to maintain our web server and web applications for over a decade. So we have a certificate of appreciation presented to Dr. Gordon Stein in heartfelt recognition of over a decade of dedicated volunteer service, maintaining web servers and applications for Robofest.net. We deeply appreciate your unwavering 24/7, 365 vigilance and steadfast defense against cyber attacks. Without your devoted support, the worldwide Robofest program would not be possible. Thank you so much, Gordon. And signed by CJ Chung and Dr. Chris Cartwright. So we will send this actual, certificate by mail. So Gordon Stein got PhD from Vanderbilt University last year, I believe, and he's living in Nashville in Tennessee. So Gordon, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we'll send this.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to start talking about what you're here for, the appreciation part. This is our annual photo that we try to get a really good one every year of everybody in the field house at the end of the event. But to get there, we have to get here, and without here, that's impossible. So we would like to thank the staff, of course. Again, this staff is amazing. This is my now 14th season, I think, or I'm not sure, 11, 12. But it's amazing, and I love the work that we do, but without the rest of you, we can't do our work. So I would like to thank our volunteers, and I hope you find yourself in these photos as I go through these next slides. We will also publish these online, so we do appreciate the massive amount of people that it takes to do this job every year, this program. So yes, thank you. I'm gonna leave the slides up just so you guys can see everybody in the room, and I see a lot of the faces here online. There's some larger group photos. But we did lose one of us this year. One of our close friends, Heidi Morano, did pass away recently. She was a Robo Arts judge. She worked right next door for the last 8 years. And so we will truly miss our friend Heidi. So thank you. Thank you, Heidi. Okay, now we're going to talk about our statistics. I'm going to turn it over to Chris, and he's going to go through the annual report highlights, I guess.
Thanks, Jim.
And it's not up here, so.
All right, so I think, okay. That's okay. Right, so again, this report will be available at robofest.net. We're just proofreading it one more time, but it'll be up soon. This does include revenue and expense data. So some statistics. This year, again, in our system, we had 2,530 students. There are 794 teams registered in our Robofest management system. We had 24 participating countries. I won't read them all off. I would like to point out we had some new countries like Bangladesh, Malaysia, and Palestine, and Peru, as well as, I guess, about 20 returning countries. And we had 5 states, so Florida, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Texas. I think, is New Jersey new, or maybe they're relatively new?
Well, New Jersey's not new, but it's been a while, and it was.
It's been a while, okay. They're returning states, so I don't think we had them maybe until recently. Wait, we had 40 registered events last year. That included 2 workshops. We had 17 US events. There were 9 international options 1 and 2 events, and then 12 world championship events. Again, these are all through our registration system. And to make those events possible, we had 521 registered volunteers. And so some of you are here today, so thank you. And we had lots of other volunteers as well that made Robofest possible. Right, the number of teams. I think basically it was our 3rd largest number of teams ever. So again, we had a good year for the number of teams. And the number of participants, I think the number of participants was the 3rd highest. I mean, number of teams was also a bit on the large side, but so it was a good turnout. In terms of the number of Robofest competition sites, I think we added 5 sites compared to last year. So again, not quite as high as our outlier there, but again, we're getting more towards, I guess, our mode of number of sites. Some breakdown of how things occurred in terms of the participants, in terms of the competitions, comparing game and exhibition style. We had a slight increase in the game style competitions. And for instance, if you look at that pie chart there, I think, for instance, this year we actually had sumo come in as the most popular category. Oftentimes it's been game, but game and sumo are kind of been battling it out for number 1 and 2. Notice we did have, I guess, a good showing from exhibition in 3rd place with 19%. And some other categories as well. In terms of number of Robofest student participants, again, for the age group, again, we had an increase in the number or percent of middle school students. So they were up to 54% last year. Again, that's, and of course, meant kind of a slight decrease in our number of high school students and decreases in other areas as well. In terms of the Robofest platforms that we have, All Lego accounted for 48%, which I think actually might be slightly down from previous years. I think we actually saw an increase in VEX overall. So all VEX type platforms accounted for 26% last year. And then we did have Arduino, I guess kind of came in maybe sort of third place as opposed to non-Lego, non-VEX. In terms of programming languages, there I think our top one was at least VEX Code
And EV3,
and EV3.
EV3 and Scratch were tied for second.
Right, EV3 and Scratch were tied for second. Of course, those are both, I think, kind of Lego-based language. So at least overall, I think Lego might have been slightly more popular than VEX in terms of programming languages, which was to be expected based on the previous slide. Right. Then for our revenue expense summary. So unfortunately, again, we did have a deficit at the end of last year of $8,375 and some cents. Our cash income this year was $63,503.04. Again, that left at least a revenue balance. And then we also got support from our college and department of $53,613.29. That gave us a total of available revenue of $108,741.15. As you can see, our labor expenses was the larger of the type of expenses that we pay out for Robofest at $95,000. Non-labor expenses around $35,000. So our total expenses were $130,000 and then $30,559.04. So unfortunately, we had an additional deficit this year. So our total deficit, again, including the deficit we carried over, is now $21,817.89. The main reason for that is, unfortunately, the college is no longer available to sponsor our part-time staff. So we had to absorb that expense, or at least attempt to absorb that expense. This was our first year with that attempt. We're going to try and come up, we'll show you later on in these slides, hopefully some creative ways of trying to make up some of that gap this year. And although we did, I think our program cost per student was, I think, about the lowest it's been in several years at only $51.60 per student. So we did try and at least, spend as wisely as possible. Okay, I think for the assessment report, I'll turn it over to Dr. Chung, who again is in charge of our assessment efforts.
I'd like to first thank Robofest Office for their dedicated effort for this past year. And let's give them a big applause. Thank you. And all the staff worked so hard for this, the most complex program on campus. I'm definitely sure. Okay, so my role is actually, to assess the program, especially, our goal to achieve Robofest 3 missions. Our first mission is to get students interested in STEM. The second goal, our mission is, I remember, PCCT. So core skills such as problem solving, C, creativity, another C, critical thinking. T, teamwork. Teamwork includes leadership, fellowship, as well as communication skills. Number 3 goal is, we need to empower our students to do well in their college education after finishing their K-12 education. So we have 3 goals. So my role is to make sure to meet our missions. So what we do is, first, we have surveys. Based on surveys from coaches and volunteers, this year, I'd like to announce that we improved our satisfaction rate. So over 90% of coaches, volunteers, very satisfied or satisfied. Only a few coaches, like 4.5, decreased, actually. Okay, yeah, this is important. Before starting, the season, when they register, uh, we ask students to do a pre-survey, whether they currently like STEM classes or not. Then, after the exposure of Robofest season, we do the same survey, whether they like STEM classes or not. So this year, oh, we had huge increase. Before starting, those that low, after that high. So my eyes are so bad, I cannot read anymore. So sooner or later, I wear glasses. Then, as you can see there, yes, you see the increase about STEM career interest. So this graph shows all the years. As you see here, last year we had big increase in STEM-like scale. Also, this year we increased, STEM career interest. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have 3 goals, Robofest missions. Number 1, get students interested in. Second, PCCT core skills. Third, we need to empower them so that they can do well, in college education as well as future career, STEM careers. So we have 20 criteria to measure whether we achieve those or not. As you can see, 20 criteria can be mapped to our 3 goals. And based on that, we achieved around 71% of our first goal. Second one, core skills, yes, we achieved 100%. Number 3, whether we taught well so that they learn a lot about STEM, still we need to work on that number 3 goals. We achieved, based on our own methodology, we achieved 62%. So hopefully we can improve the number 3 goal next year better. Okay, so that's all about assessment. Let's back to Shannon.
Last year, we had some goals that were very lofty, and we feel like we did about half. Our recruitment requirement is new to us. When this program originated, it was not part of the ideal of what Robofest was all about, but recently the university has informed us that we need to do better. We need to bring students to campus to study here. And last year we did really great. We had 4 students or 5 students that came, but this year we did not. We have several that were planning to come. One young man actually decided to defer and go into the military for a year. And another student has decided to go to another university. And then one of our biggest issues is our international students. They want to come, but the visa issue is prohibitive for them. So unfortunately, that reflects on us. It's not something we try very hard to offer the opportunity for students to study here through scholarship opportunities and work study. So we'll continue to work on that goal. If that's what the advisory board and the direct executive council wants us to work on, we will continue to work on that. Integrate AI and STEM and robotics programs was another goal. I don't know the results. I know that we've been talking about adding more AI and more into the robotics, and there's a few new categories that we'll talk about in a minute. So for next year, that will be inclusive of our goals as well. Increase the number of events in Michigan and other states. We did do that this year. We actually had some events in Michigan that were canceled also. So the site hosts are there, but the students just aren't. So we're just trying to recruit more teams in Michigan and other states. And then increase revenue by collecting admin and licensing fees. We introduced licensing and admin fees last year for international partners for the first time. And we have been told that we should have been doing it all along and we can charge more. So we're going to charge more. So hopefully this coming year, we'll be able to increase more by collecting additional fees to our for our international groups, because they're using the program, they're reaching out to their students with our intellectual property, and they're okay with paying us to do so. We do have technical committees this year, last year we had 7 or 8 committees. Thank you to everybody that was on a committee last year. It's a lot of fun, a lot of work. It's a 1-year appointment, so anybody that would like to join again, we have 2 new committees this year. We're introducing 2 new categories of competition for the World Championship. There's 2, they're computer vision categories, Drone Quest and Humana Quest. The Humana Quest, I don't think we're gonna be running in the US because of the limits on the robots availability. But if teams want to learn the rules and go to Korea with us in May next year, we'll be happy to take them. So if you're interested in a technical committee, we do request you have a professional background in robotics or competition, and all you people who are here, you're aware of all these things. We do post a bio online. We do request that you're available for in-person or Zoom meetings throughout the season and available to judge for the US Championship when we schedule that in May. And we want no conflicts of interest, meaning if you're coaching a team on for that committee, that it's hard for us to allow coaches to participate in a committee if they're working with teams. So if you have interest, there's a sign up to
Oh my God.
you can sign up right now. Just fill out the Google form. You can also sign up if you just want to volunteer, not necessarily for the tech committees, if you just want to volunteer for to judge or to do registration or timekeeping or anything like that. We would love to have you join us. So I'll leave that up for another moment. I see some people taking photos. I love the QR codes. They're just so fun. Drone Quest is a new category. We'll be announcing those rules in September, I believe, unless. Yep. Yeah. So it's a new category that we've been asked to introduce, but through our partners in Korea. So they're going to be hosting a Drone Quest, but we'll be able to host some here, hopefully.
So it's a non-remote control,
Autonomous drones. As I mentioned earlier, regarding our recruiting, we do have LTU scholarship opportunities for your students that participate. Anybody who ever participated in Robofest ever can apply for a $3,000 annual renewable scholarship that's stackable with other scholarships that they may receive from the university. And then we have a $20,000, $16,000, or $14,000 annual renewable scholarship for students who win first, second, or third place in most divisions. We don't offer it for bottle sumo because that includes a lot of luck. So the ones that are not the lucky ones, the game, exhibition, RoboMed, RoboArts, etc., those students all receive a certificate of scholarship to attend university. We will be releasing the general and category rules on September 25th. So we are working very hard to get those up and out. We will be hosting a series of kickoff meetings. A week after we release the rules, we're going to give people a chance to sit with them for a minute and then come with questions. We'll review them and hopefully communicate any changes that will need to be made on Wednesday, November 4th. So we take about a month to go through all the questions that all of our partners, international and site hosts have, and then we'll finalize the rules this year early in November. Normally we wait until January to finalize the rules, but we've been asked by our international groups to do it earlier. So we will be finalizing. There might be small modifications after November, but we will hope to have everything pretty much buttoned up by then. We will be hosting a USA Championship on campus the week that we would normally host the Worlds here, the weekend after commencement on campus, which is May 7th and 8th. And then the 2027 World Championship events will be held at Kwangwon University in Seoul on May 28th through 31st. And that is Memorial Day weekend. So how do teams advance? We'll announce that when we drop the meeting or drop the rules, and then we'll announce it during the kickoff meetings on September 2nd. So how teams will get there from the US and from international partners will be announced at that time. We do have a scholarship event coming up for high school students. Here in the lab on the 31st is the competition, but we will also be hosting a workshop for anybody that wants to learn more about coding and preparing for that competition on the 17th of October. There is a flyer on the table for anybody who would like to take that, if they have high school students that they know they might be interested in attending. It's for groups or teams of 2 or 1, and registration will be open the week of September 2nd. For those high school teachers that want to come to Lawrence Tech and learn some Python coding with VexIQ Gen 2 robots, we'll set those up for you. If you want to tour some labs, we can host them weekdays from 9 to 2. We'll have the admissions office provide lunch. So this is perfect for high school robotics clubs, classes, science classes. So contact Elmer if you would like to schedule a field trip for your high school students. We would really like to give a huge round of applause to our sponsors. We have a new sponsor this year, Lego Legion, IEEE Tri-Engineering STEM Grant. Another new sponsor this year, SW. They contacted me out of the blue and said, hey, we want to give you money, and I was jumping for joy. We do have partners. The Michigan Department of Education is still hosting the 99H grant. It was reapproved this year, so we'll be offering grant funding through the Department of Education to participate in Robofest. And then we have some partners on campus, State Champs, Yellow Flag, and RoboZone. And then the 3 friends of Robofest, NDIA, Southeast Michigan, and CJ and his lovely bride, and Elmer are our friends of Robofest sponsors. We do have, my battery is going. Sponsor forms. If anybody would like to complete a sponsor form. We're changing the benefits tiers this year. So the Friends of Robofest, is the first tier. Any individual, your name goes on the website.
And we have some copies over there.
Yeah, we also have forms here. And your names are printed on the program. That's the basic level. The bronze level includes all of those benefits. Plus, if you have a logo, we'll put your logo on there, and your sponsorship is announced through the newsletter, and your logo goes on all the qualifier programs. Our next tier is one of our new exciting ones. The silver tier, you get to name an open category. So your company gets to name Robo Parade or RoboMed. And this was Q's idea, actually. A former site host that works with Accelerate Kid Novi, he said, hey, I got a company that might want to sponsor, but they want their name on stuff, on the category. So we talked about it as a team, and we said, that's a really good idea. So you can name Robo Parade or another open category. And then the gold level, you can name a qualifier, because the qualifiers happen more often throughout the season. It's worth more, we think. So the gold level, you get to name the game or the exhibition event for the year. And then the platinum, you get to name the whole program. We'll put your name on the wall for a year, or on every website, on every program, basically your logo becomes our logo for a year. And one of the other benefits is to, I mentioned at the silver level, you get a booth at the World Championship or the US Championship, and your logo on the official t-shirts and on the banner. The gold